Alright, final video where we are going to do our chart. So in our last video we went through and we prepared our document for printing, so we can strike that out. The very last thing that we need to do as per our style guide, and the last thing in our portfolio, is to create a chart. So create a chart showing your jobs and the time allocated for each job in accordance with the style guide extract for spreadsheets. So we must create a chart. We must create a chart. The style guide says charts are to be produced on separate worksheets unless otherwise directed. Charts must include a title, axis, label, and legend. Okay. So the first thing there, before we even start looking at a chart, is that charts are to be prepared on a separate worksheet unless otherwise directed. So this is one worksheet. This is called sheet 1. We need to create another sheet. Okay. So this is where the job planner will be, and I'm going to rename this to job planner. Okay. And I'm going to rename sheet 2 as JP chart. Okay, job planner chart. Please do that now. Alright, now that we've created a new sheet, if we go to view, page layout, you'll notice that our document doesn't have, or this sheet does not have, the same header and footer as our job planner. We are creating a spreadsheet. Okay, we are creating a spreadsheet. Okay, so we need to then go ahead for the chart sheet. We need to follow the exact same settings from our style guide extract. Okay, so we need to go back up again and uncross out. We need to take away the strike through for our header and our footer, because we need to do this all again for this new sheet. We need to do this all again for the new sheet. Okay, so I'm going to go through and do that now. You should have already done it once before, so it shouldn't be too difficult for you to go through and do this all again. So starting with the first one, include a title in the header formatted using heading 3. So we had that there as job planner, so we need to do the same thing here, the same exact thing for our chart. Okay, for our chart sheet, the exact same thing. Heading 3 is Arial black size 14 black. Arial black size 14. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're now adjusting all of these exactly the same as the as our first sheet. Date created should be in the header top left and the Powerblue logo top right. So date created, and you can, if you like, you can just copy and paste from this original, from this one. Okay. Again though, it must match in terms of font. Okay, it must match. This one here has font Arial 10. So I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, Arial 10. And the picture. See if I can copy and paste the picture. We might have to do the insert again. Oh yeah, no, it does want you to do the insert again. So inserting the picture again. Modifying the picture to make it smaller, locking the aspect ratio. We had 20% before, so we'll do the same again. Our footer. In our footer we must have the document title, page number, and your initials. So the initials, that's the one that we just type in, just putting in initials, and that must be Arial size 8 italics. This one is the page numbers. We just insert that using page number, and again that must be Arial size 8 italics as well. And then finally the file name. Arial, size 8, italics. Alright, if you're having trouble doing any of those, please go back and watch the first video as I go through this explicitly. Okay, if the page number doesn't appear, it's because you don't have a page number yet. If you put some data in, that should update. Okay, there's just nothing there yet. So if you get a little hash symbol, don't stress. It's just that there's no data yet on that page. Crossing out, I'll go back to my style guide. I'll cross out because I have put the date created in the header and I've put the pale blue logo. I've also resized the logo, keeping the aspect ratio locked, and I've done my footer. One thing that we needed to also check, something else we needed to do is the page layout. Okay. We need to change the margins on this spreadsheet. We also need to change the orientation, and that's talking about tables. We're not putting a table on here, we're putting a chart. So this one is not, we don't need to follow this one, but these two here, minimum margins of 1 centimeter and landscape page orientation. So page orientation, landscape. Cross that one out. And minimum margins on all sides 1 centimeter. So I'm going to adjust my margins and make sure left and right is going to be 1 centimeter. Bottom is going to be 1 centimeter as well. Changing my footer to 0 and header to 0. I'm going to leave the top same as what we did before, which was 1.5. Okay, we can change that to 1.5 because it said minimum 1 centimeter. It just can't be more than one. It can't be less than 1 centimeter. Okay. So my margins, just quickly again, I'll put them on the screen so that you can see them. My margins for this sheet are header and footer are set to 0, right, left and bottom are set to 1, and top is 1.5. Please complete that now.
Yeah.
We can close that one now with.
Yep.
Alright, with that completed, I will cross that out. And
sure.
I can create the charts we to produce on a spreadsheet unless otherwise directed. I can cross that one out because we are doing that now. Alright, the last thing here is that it says the chart must include a title, axes, labels, and legend. When we go into Excel, and we go to insert a chart, there are lots and lots of different options. We could do a column chart, we could do a bar chart, we could do a surface chart, we could do a combo chart, we could do an area chart, a line chart, a pie chart, and a scatter graph. Okay, we could do lots of different charts. The task does not tell us what type of chart to create. Again, similar to our design and display, similar to how we design and display this, you need to pick the best chart to represent the information. You need to use the best chart to represent the information. I'm going to take you through and show you how to create a chart, and then also how you can change that chart so that you can see what the information looks like. You can change the chart to see, oh, well, I'll create a column chart, and oh, maybe I want to show it as a bar chart. Oh, what does a pie chart look like? We're going to change it so that it looks different, okay, for each of those. So we'll just start off. I'm just going to use the basic column chart, okay, I'm just going to use the basic column chart, okay. So very, very simple, normal column chart. So I'm just going to start off by clicking on that, and it'll insert a chart area. It will insert a chart area. There's no information in there yet. We haven't added any information as of yet. Okay. From here, we're going to use the select data option. When we hit that, you will get a box that appears that says select data source. Okay, data source. This is the source. This is the location where the data comes from. We then we select our job planner tab, and you'll notice that it tells us that we're going to the job planner sheet. Sorry, not tab. And we've got to enter in some information. We've got to enter in our job description and the time taken. The folio says create a chart showing your jobs and the time allocated for each job. The time allocated for each job. So we need to add some entries. Why is that being silly? Okay. Well, anyway, we'll just start off. So we need to, first off, we need to select our data. Okay, the data that we want to display in the chart. Now the data are the numbers. Okay, that is the data. So we select the data, which is the minutes. That is the time. We're displaying the time. It is the data, okay, for the actual spreadsheet. So we go, we just click on our select data source, and I'm going to highlight down from time needed down to 60. Or maybe I'll just do that then. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm getting an error. Selecting the data, job planner. There we go. Alright, so selecting the data, you select the data chart range, which is just highlighting from time needed for completion down from 15 all the way down to the last 60 there, that last task. Right. Notice that it has the legend entries, so this is time needed for completion in minutes. This is the name of the data. We're also going to then, we need to edit the horizontal axes labels. At the moment it's just labeled at 1 to 10, but we want to label it based on the job descriptions. So we edit, we select edit, and we add in our label range. Our label range starts from here and goes down to here, our job descriptions. Okay, so we start the first one and we scroll down to the bottom and press OK. And when we come back to our table, you'll notice some changes. You'll see that the data entry, the data has appeared. So all the different entries, okay, have appeared and how long it's going to take them. And we've also added in the names of each of the items. Okay, the job descriptions. Okay, the job descriptions are there. So we're now going to need to label, or go ahead and label the vertical and the horizontal axes, the X and Y axes. Okay, with the data in there, we don't know what each of these things are, and we must actually label them. So on the vertical axes, we've got 0 to 70. We don't know what that 0 to 70 is. Is that minutes? Is it seconds? Is it days? Is it years? It could be anything. Okay, we need to label that. As well too, we see that we've got the task names along the bottom. Okay, we do have the task names along the bottom, but we do need to label that and say exactly what these things are. Okay, we do need to label exactly what they are. So let's go ahead now and have a look at labeling the rest of the chart. So into our chart tools, okay, and into design, okay, into design, and we're going to add a chart element. This is where we're going to add a chart element. So we can add lots of different things. We can add grid lines, we can add tables, we can add chart title, we've already got that. We can add lots of things. Okay, we can even add axes. But we're going to add our axes titles. So there's the horizontal and the vertical. We'll start with the vertical, okay, because this is an easy one. We just add it there, and then we select that box, and we just type in there minutes. Really simple, really easy. We'll now do the same exact thing and add our horizontal axes label. This one's a little bit excuse me, this one's a little bit different in what we need to, or how we need to set it out and what we need to type in there. Could just call it job description. Yeah, actually job description, yeah, is fine. So I'm just going to copy that and I'll add that label and call it job description. Okay. Nice and simple. With that axis labeled, we can go back to, we'll go to our style guide and cross off what we have done,
So it says charts must include a title, axes, labels, and legend. Well, we've done a title. We've definitely got a title, and we've done our axes labels, so we can cross that one off. The last thing we need to do is put in a legend. We need to put in a legend. Okay, legend's going to show what the color means, what each of these means. So clicking back on our table, go to design, add chart elements, and we'll add a legend. And we can add it to the right, top, left, bottom. Given how this looks, I'm going to add it to the right. Okay, may change. Okay. We do have a title, but I don't think that that's the right title. We'll change that too. We'll change that too. So I'm going to edit. Okay, so our legend appears and it's already labelled, but we're going to edit that. Don't know why. Will it let me edit that? Oh, it won't let me edit that. It won't let me edit that one, unfortunately. That was one we said earlier. Okay, but it will let us change our title. Now, our title needs to read more, or actually explain to us what we're doing here, or what this actually is. Okay, so it just says time needed for completion. It's time needed for completion of what? Okay, so we need to give a very exact description of what this is. So this is time needed for completion of jobs, 25 July 2016. Okay, so that's what this is. This is a graph which shows the time needed for completion of jobs. We can input on 25th of July 2016. That describes in detail exactly what this table shows. Okay, so we've put in our legend, and I've altered my title so that it matches. It actually describes what is in the table itself. Okay, once you've done that, you can cross out that section in the style guide, because we've now finished all of that. With that done, with that completed, we can see in our style guide, if you've been crossing it off as you go, you can see that I've covered every single point through the style guide. Now, it took a little bit of time, and I've been explaining things as we go, but we've completed every single thing from the style guide. So I can close that style guide now, because I know I've done everything I'm done. Okay, with that. Alright, I go back to my folio, create the spreadsheet in accordance with the style guide. Well, we've done that. I can cross that one out. Turn these off. Okay, I can cross that out now because I have done that. And the last one here, create a chart showing your jobs and the time allocated in accordance with the style guide extract. Well, we've done that as well. Okay, we've done that. We've actually done and gone through, and we've done everything as per the folio. So right now, this is complete, but it's not 100% complete, because there's something not wrong with it, but there's something we can make better. This table could, or the table or the chart that we use, could display the information better. Right now, yes, this is completed, and we can do stuff like move it and make it, ensure that it fits the entire page. We can do stuff like that. Okay, we can increase the size and hopefully make it look nicer on the page. Okay, we can do that. We can do that type of stuff. However, though, I don't think it is the best way to display the information. I'll zoom out just a little bit. I don't believe it's the best way to display the information. We're talking here about minutes in the day. All right, we were talking here about minutes in the day. This would be appropriate if we were looking at a trend over time. Okay, if we wanted to graph something and compare different items, but we're not wanting to compare. I don't need to compare how long it's going to take me to have morning tea compared to lunch. I don't need to be comparing those. What would be a more appropriate chart to use? Okay, and this is what I'm going to show now, is how to change the design of the chart. It's fine that we've created this, and that's a great way to create a bar chart. But if we go to design, we can actually change the chart type, change to a different type of chart. Okay, And what I'm going to do now is change this to a pie chart. So I believe a pie chart better represents, better shows or displays this information. Plus it's colourful. Okay. So the pie chart, I'll change it, I'll just select change, there we go. Now the pie chart shows the time in which it takes to complete everything. So we can look at it and go, oh, look, over half of my day is going to be done doing 3 tasks, whereas the other 7 are going to be done in the other time frame. So I think this is a much better way to display the information. It's a much better way to display the information. All right. Now again, this is just a basic. All right. I've just literally chosen the most basic type of chart, and if you don't like that one, you can change back to a column. Very easy to change back to a column. If you don't like a pie, if you don't like the column, you can change to a bar. You can even change to a bar like this. You can change to scatter plot. Scatter plot's probably not the best. You can change to an area. Alright. Again though, it doesn't really accurately represent or show the data. It doesn't display the data in the best way possible. Okay, and I think a pie chart does. Okay, I believe a pie chart does. Alright. In terms of displaying and the colours, I kind of don't like that the colours are all different, and they're kind of ugly colours too. There's a lot of browns and greys that are just a bit bleh. So I'm going to change the colours, and we're going to go for a monochrome colour theme like this, or maybe change to go this one. There we go. And again, these colours fit in with the Australian hardware. These colours fit in with the Australian hardware style. Okay, they're not the exact Australian hardware colours. Okay, they're not the exact Australian hardware colours, but they look similar. They're close to the Australian hardware. Okay, the Australian hardware colours. Right. Okay, maybe even that one. I'll probably go with that one. But again, you can change. You can use whatever colour scheme you want. You can even go in and change individual colours. You can go to a red or whatever. You can also change. There's some chart styles you can modify. You can change and look at if that interests you. Okay, don't go too wild. All right, don't go too wild. Don't go too crazy. How do I go back to just the normal? So I'll go back to just the normal chart that I had before. Yep, there we go. Something I can do here is for. Oh no, I just want to check. Click on the whole table for a pie chart. We can actually add some elements like should be able to add the percentages. So we can change and show the percentages. We can change the layout, and quick layout's a really easy way to do that. So you could do something like this and change it. But I think that's contained in a lot of those styles. All right, you can change to your different layouts. You can see there now we've actually put the job tasks on the pie chart. Okay, this was the one I was looking for. Only thing is it changed our title when we did that. So just be mindful of the title, because it did just change then when I changed that quick layout. So this is the one that I like personally. I like it with a monochrome, where you've got all the different, like, varying grades of color. You've got all your jobs listed with their colors, and then also the percentages. So you're going to know that 17, 17, and 18% of your day is going to be spent doing these 2 tasks, and scanning the photos and delivering the mails are going to take 8% in total. So that shows a much better distribution. It shows how your time will be distributed. So please make any changes. I want you now, this is the end of the tutorial video. It's the end of the tutorial video. It's now your chance to go ahead and design your chart in the way that you would like to display it. You do not have to display your chart like this. This is the way that I like to display it. You can choose any chart. Okay, just again keep it looking professional and looking like an Australian hardware chart, maybe with your color choices. Okay, but you do have some creative freedom here. And that is it for the tutorial video. At this point, you would print this out and present it to your supervisor, so that they can see the work that you have done. So save your document, And if you're up to and you've done all of this, you can submit.